You can hear me well now?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start like that. Like that, so?
Very good.
Okay. Okay, so today we are starting a new topic. We learned like it's connected to kashrut, but we finished basar bechalav and ta'aruvot, like the laws between meat and milk and so on. And now we are starting everything related to goyim. Somebody don't know this word? Everyone know, right? Meaning, halachically, I talked about a few times that the word kasher, we use it more, it's more a new word to use. This word brought down like many years ago, but we use it often now much more. And it means that according to all the different laws, it's okay to eat. This is what it means. But when we want to really understand what is kosher and what is not, so halachically you do not have on the halachot, I mean like on the sources 200, 1,000 years ago, I don't know, 1,500 years ago, you do not have kosher and not kosher. You have different categories of laws. So, for example, now we're going to learn about what's called pat akum or pas akum, whenever you know it, or bishul akum, bishul Israel, bishul Israel, I don't know how to say it. And we need to understand something that we talked about. It's that, let's say you have shrimp. So shrimp is just not kosher because the Torah said. But even if all the ingredients are kosher, if a non-Jew cook it, it can be a problem. Okay? And it means this is what we're going to learn. The different laws about fast, like bread, and cooking, and all the others things. Okay? This will be, I think, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 shiurim. And now I will try to do introduction for that. And after that, we'll go to the details more. Okay? You hear me well, right? Okay. So, all these subjects have nothing to do with any real Torah prohibition. The Torah didn't tell us that we're not allowed to eat stuff that we cook. The Torah didn't tell us that we're not allowed to eat bread that they bake. The Torah tells us other thing, and Chazal, our sages, has thought that it will be important to do offense here. So the Torah tells us the first, the most foundation, important halakha we have is to believe in one God and not to worship idolatry. And our sages knew that if you, for example, will have good friends that are worshiping idolatry, we are assuming we get influenced by that. And much more than that is if you fell in love with a person that worship idolatry, and he will tell you, if you want to become my friend, you should also worship idolatry. This is much more hard for us to think rational after we are falling in love. This is clear? We had a story in the Torah a few weeks ago at the end of Parashat Balak. Somebody remember the story with Bnei Midian and that? Yeah. So the story there, the Torah tells us that Bilam tried to curse Israel, didn't work, and Balak tried to look for a solution, what to do, how to kill Am Israel. And Bilam came to Balak and tell him, look, if you want that God will be a little bit far away from them, and they will less have the protect of God, you should make him doing an averot. So what he did, he wanted Am Yisrael to do Avodah Zarah, and he thought about try to bring them girls, and that the Midrashim tells us that, for example, they at the bazaar, they sell at the front, he saw a lady, and inside there was a lady that looked much, much better. And after that, she told him, if you want to be with me, you should worship idolatry. This is the story that Torah tells us. And Chazal understood that, so they tried to make איך אומרים? Distance. This is the word. So Chazal put few laws to make it a little bit distance, meaning we allowed to work with them, we allowed to talk with them, but they try to put a little bit of distance to remember, and also to make it harder to be in a position of falling in love, or and at the end working for doing like avodah zara. Okay, so we have two categories that Chazal said we're not allowed to do just because of connection to goyim. Okay, the first category is with food. This is the category we will focus on that shiurim because we're talking about kosher thing. But just to get the understanding of the topic, I will tell you all the laws that have to do with making distance from goyim. So on the laws of food, we have Akum, pas akum. You know this. You heard about it, right? Pas Israel. I don't know this one. Pat Israel. This is have to do with the prohibition that we will talk. This prohibition said that Chazal said, even if all the ingredients of the bread is kosher, if a goy cook bake the bread, you're not allowed to eat it. We will go to the details. We will see there is some details. Sometimes we do allow it, sometimes not. And nowadays, if you go to a high-level kashrut, they will tell you pas Israel, pat Israel, and if it's a little bit lower, it can be pat Akum, and so on. But all this prohibition have to do with making distance, okay, of remembering of not to do intermarriage. Now we have Bishul Israel, like Bishul Israel. It means if the goy cook, so it's also prohibited, not because he cooked non-kosher ingredients. If the ingredients are non-kosher, so it's not kosher anyway, it doesn't matter who cooked it. But even if, for example, he took kosher meat, he bought the kosher meat and he cooked it in your vessels, meaning your kosher vessel, if a goy cook it, it's make it prohibited because of this fence, because of this gzera of Chazal. Why? To remember that we're not allowed to do extra marriage. This is the word. No, how to say Niswei Ta'arovet again? Chut? Baruch, no. Like when you married, when a Jew marry a
intermarriage.
Intermarriage, thank you very much. So all this fence is because of intermarriage. So we had Pat Akum or Pat Israel. We had now Bishul Akum. Some said that also Chalav Israel, like that we need a milk from a Jew. Some said that it have also something to do with that, but it's not clear. And we have a prohibition of drinking their wine. And we have another prohibition of drinking any alcohol in a place they sell it, okay? In a pub or something like that. It's the same, all from the same fence. This have to do with food, that we will talk about that more clearly. And we have things that have nothing to do with food, but just to get in general. You know what is ichud? Ichud? People here know what it means? Ichud is, there is, according to some Torah prohibition, of a man being with a married woman in the same room when the room is locked. Okay? Meaning when it's like real privacy. When it's not locked and so on, there is details, some allow, some not. But if she is married and the house is locked and nobody can see, nobody can anything, nobody can enter if they want, if they did it for a few minutes, even if they didn't do anything, it's a prohibition of being what's called yichud. This is the name of the prohibition. Now, from the Torah, we do not have a prohibition of doing yichud, meaning being with a single non-Jew woman in the same room when the room is locked. From the Torah, there is no prohibition about it. But Chazal again make defense because they didn't want us to fall in love. They didn't want us to marry at the end because there is a Torah prohibition of marry a non-Jewish, but there is no Torah prohibition of just being in the room with them, and a closed room. Again, if the room is locked and nobody can see, and so on and so on. But Chazal didn't want to make offense, so they said also yichud, being alone in a room, is also prohibited. Another one, and the last one, is, you know what is iruv, right? Iruv, that we're not allowed to take things on Shabbat out of the house if there is no iruv. So in iruv, there is few laws of iruv. In some kind of iruv, you can do iruv for all the city or for a huge part. This is one option. There is another option of doing iruv if you have like mitcham, like a place with few houses, and they have together 1 yard, and these places are closed with walls and something. This is called iruvei chatzerot. You're not allowed to take out from a house to the yard and the opposite, unless you did something called iruvei chatzerot. And if you have goy, a non-Jew, live there, you can do iruvei chatzerot. This fence is again to make it a little bit harder and to try make Yehudim living together. Okay, all from the same fence of at the end, not changing the religion or something like that. Like if a person want to live with goyim, he allowed, but Chazal just make it a little bit more harder. That's it. That they will prefer to live together. Again, I said we're allowed to work, we're allowed to do anything, but they try to make also things to remind us on the daily basis that we will not forget. Now we will go to Pat Israel and Bishul Israel with details. Somebody has a question, want to understand, want to clarify about what we talked right now? You all good? Grace, this your name?
I'm fine, thanks.
Oh, nice to meet you. I don't think I saw you before, right?
I met you at one of the Shabbatons, but I live in Richmond, so I don't come
Oh,
in.
you live in Richmond. Oh, okay. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. So now let's go to Pat Israel and Bishul Israel. So we said that even if all the ingredients are kosher, if a goy, everyone know the word goy, right? Good. If a goy cooked it, it's not kosher. But this is in general. But when we go to the details, sometimes we do allow it. Also with Pat Israel. In general, Chazal said we're not allowed to eat bread. If you go to the details, sometimes we do allow it. Now I will go to the details. So I will start with Bishul Akum. Chazal said we're not allowed to eat if they cook. Okay? Why? According to most interpreters, is just because of remembering of not doing intermarriage. And according to other, it's maybe because he put something not kosher in it. Okay, and you don't know if he just do it by himself. Now Chazal said if there is two things that should be to make the food not kosher if a goy cook it. Let's say a goy cook the food, but this food can't be placed on a king table, okay? It's not like a nice food, tasty. It's something that you buy in $1 when you're outside, I don't know, $2 on the street. If this is the kind of a food, there is no prohibition about it. Why? Because all the idea behind is you will go to his house and he will serve you nice food, and food is something that connects us as human, and at the end you will marry his daughter or something like that. Okay? But if it's just normal food that you eat, not something that you can honor with, so even bottom line halachically, there is no prohibition about that. Okay? There is disagreement about what is considered something you honor. When you ask a practical question, some rabbi can understand like that and some rabbi can understand like that. But in general, if it's not something that you can honor and give it on a nice meal, everyone agree there is no prohibition of Bishul Akum. You don't need Bishul Israel for that. But sure, all the ingredients should be kosher, and you need to know that everything is kosher. I'm just talking about the fact that a goy cooked it. Okay? It's clear? Now, this is the first thing. The second thing is, if a goy cooks something that is edible, you can eat it raw, there is also no prohibition. Okay? If he cooked mushrooms, carrots, cabbage, cucumber, I don't know, pepper, and all those kind of things that you can eat raw, or tomato. He made matbucha. Okay, he cooked tomato. Because tomato you can eat it raw and you can eat it cooked. So this is also, there is no prohibition of Bishul Israel. If he wants to cook, it's even the bottom line halacha. If he's in your house, or it doesn't matter where, and all the ingredients is kosher, everything is kosher, and you just want him to cook, there is no problem, because you can eat it. If you can eat it raw, he can cook it. So when this law apply, just if you can place it on a king table, and you can't eat it raw. Okay? If those two things are not applying, you can eat. It don't need to be Bishul Israel. It's clear? Good. Now I'm going to Pat Israel. Okay? And we will, after we will understand those both, because they are going together, we'll go a little bit to more details about both laws. About Pat Israel, at the beginning, Chazal said if a goy bake a bread, you're not allowed to eat it. But after that, and the same generation even, many big rabbis said there is another law. There is a law that says if God didn't say something is prohibited, and the big rabbi 2,000 years ago wanted to make, they understood that it should be a fence. If people cannot do it, cannot follow it because it's very hard in life, they should not do it. Okay? If the Torah didn't say it's prohibited, and they wanted to make a prohibition, or we want to make a prohibition to make a fence, because the Torah said we should put fences when we see it's important, we just can do it in a situation that people can follow it. But if it's make people's life very hard, we're not allowed to do it. Okay, this is the first thing we need to know. Second of all, let's say Chazal said you're not allowed to do X, Y, Z. Not because they understood it inside the Torah, because they want to make it as a fence. And people didn't get them by themselves. At the end, it was hard for people, I don't know what, people didn't do it. If people didn't do it, this halacha is not exist. And is that's it. Okay? People should get it as themselves, but if people didn't get them as themselves as a community, and it's a rabbinical prohibition as a fence, it doesn't stuck. Like they come and they say, look, this one you're not allowed to do because of offense. It was hard for people. People didn't accept it. So you're allowed to do it. Okay? Now go after we understood that, we should go to the history of the prohibition of bread. At the beginning, Chazal come and said, look, you're not allowed to eat bread that goyim cooked. You should have pat Israel. Okay? Some rabbis said, look, this prohibition is it's a prohibition that people can't follow. Why? They said like that. They said there is a huge difference between saying you're not allowed to eat food of theirs and you're not allowed to eat bread. We need to know that at that time in the Middle East, bread was the most important object of meal. Like when you want to eat a meal, when you want to live your life, this was the most important thing to eat, bread. And Chazal said, look, if you tell a person you're not allowed to eat meat, he is away, he is far away, he is in a go'im place, and you tell him you're not allowed to eat cooked food. Okay, he can eat fruit and vegetables and bread. He can be full from bread. Bread was the most important part of the meal. But if you tell him you're not allowed to eat also bread, what do you want from him to do? Because bread is the most important part of the meal. The Torah do not say there is a prohibition to eat bread, okay? And you cannot come and tell people don't do something that is very, very, very hard, okay? So many big rabbis at that time said, no, bread you're allowed to eat, okay? Why? Even though it's from the same reason, it's enough to say you're not allowed to eat cooked food. It will be enough to remember the prohibition of intermarriage, but you can't come and tell people you're not allowed to eat bread because it will make their life really difficult. And we're not allowed to make people's life difficult, okay? Second of all, some big rabbis, few hundred years later, like I'm talking about this prohibition is like, I don't know, 600, 700, something like that. 1,000 years, like 600 years after that, 1,000 years from now, or 700 years back from now, and something like that, many rabbis said that this prohibition was not accepted in their community. We said before that if Chazal come and said we're not allowed to do something because of offense, and people didn't get them as themselves, as a community, so it doesn't value. And they say that in their places, people they don't eat cooked food from goyim, but they do eat bread. Again, why? Because it was very, very, very hard. People are traveling, people going there back and forth, and you can't tell a person don't eat food. And bread was a very important part of the meal. Now we will see. Now I will read Shulchan Aruch, and I will explain. I just give you the brief understanding of the topic, and now we will go to just a second. Now we'll go to the detail. So the Shulchan Aruch in Yored De'ah, it's called 112. Siman Kuf Yud Bet. The Shulchan Aruch said the following. Second, I'll open. Somebody want to ask something, to clarify something? Feel free. Nothing? Okay. I think when I just opened the Chinese thing on my computer, automatically it's make it not to work. Let's see if it will work now. Okay, so I will read Shulchan Aruch and I will translate. The Shulchan Aruch is the book of, we talked about it, the book of the laws of all the Jews. Sephardim normally follow Shulchan Aruch. Ashkenazim normally follows the Rama. So the Shulchan Aruch said, אסרו חכמים לאכול פת של עממים עובדי עבודה זרה משום חתנות. Chazal said that we're not allowed to eat their bread because of the suspicions of that maybe people will go to intermarriage. The Rama added that even in a place that there is no concern of intermarriage, we also not allow. Somebody has an example of situation that you go to eat in somebody's house, but definitely you will not marry his daughters. Baruch Yohan.
There, I finally got it to work. Nuns.
Nuns are not making children, and you went to their house, and you know they will not have children. So if all the reason is because of intermarriage, we will not have intermarriage. They do not have children and they are not getting married. So I don't know exactly how it works. But in those kind of situations, what's the problem? But the Rama said this is in all the Torah basically, and I think it's not just in the Torah, also in normal laws, that when we have a law of something, we're not going to change the line any small details because it will make people at the end breaking the law. For example, if we're having a red light, we said we're not allowed to cross the red light because it can be dangerous. But if you go 2 in the morning, everything is empty, and you looked and you see there is no cars. So we also not breaking the law because when we're making a law, we want people to follow the line. When you start to break it on all small things, at the end the law will lose its value, and people just will not do it. So the reason behind not eating pat Akum is because of intermarriage. But even in cases that we do not have it, as Baruch says, nuns, or if you went to the king palace and he offer you bread, does it kosher? The king will never give you to marry his daughter if you're a normal person. It's never will happen. But the law is the law. Okay, clear? Now, ולא אסרו אלא פת של 5 מיני דגן, אבל פת של קטניות ושל אורז ודוחן אינו בכלל פת סתם שאסרו. So, when Chazal said you're not allowed to eat bread, it's just bread from the 5, how do you say it? 5 what? Baruch?
5 grains.
Species, sorry.
5.
Yeah, thank you. 5 grains, 5 species, thank you. Wheat and, I don't know, barley, I think, and all those 5.
And rye.
Thank you very much. So just those 5, if you make bread from them, they have the laws of bread. We will see the laws of Pat Israel and laws of Bishul Israel are not the same. If you bake bread from rice, for example, or from, I don't know, from other options, it has the laws of cook and not the laws of baking bread. Bread, in the definition halachically, is just from those 5 species. By the way, also for brachot, you just say amotzi if you cook bread from 5 species. But if you make bread from rice, you don't say amotzi on it, correct? Bread is just from those 5 species halachically. So if you make a bread from rice, it has no laws of bread halachically. And if it's not, so let's go to the cooking laws. If somebody remember what is the two things you need to have to make Bishul Akum, cooking of an anju, prohibited? Somebody remember? You want to say, Baruch? Go ahead. You speak English much better than me, and why not?
Essentially, the food needs to be either, or both, fit for the table of a king, and or needs to be food that can be or not consumed raw.
100%. So if we take a bread from something that's not from the 5 species, we said it's have laws of cooking. So what do you think? At the end, it will be kosher or not? Well, let's think. Rice. Can you eat rice raw? People eat rice raw? No, right? So according to that, it should be Bishul Israel. But what is the second thing we need to have that to require Bishul Israel? Baruch just said, should be replaced on a king, like something that will look nice, will be taste good, not something cheap. And this, I don't know, in any country, in any place, in any supermarket, it will be different. If in the country you are and the place you are, bread from rice, this is the thing. Even very important people eat this kind of bread, so you're not allowed. But if this is the cheap thing, normally people eat normally bread, and just people that has problems and people, for some reasons they eat it. But this is not the thing where you will replace when you honoring normally people. So there is no prohibition, and if all they agree it's a kosher, it's kosher. Okay. Now, I said that for bread, there is some rabbis that said that their community didn't accept this prohibition. Okay? Nowadays, you will see that you have many things you can buy in Canada that says not Pat Israel or something like that. Okay? So does it kosher or not? So this is what we'll go to learn now to understand that. So Shulchan Aruch said that there is a difference between some rabbis said that okay, we need to eat Pat Israel, but they hold that Pat Israel is just what's called Pat Baal Habayit. The prohibition is just if you went to the guy's house and he baked for you or for his family bread. And that scenario, if you will eat with them, we can understand that it will make connections at the end, maybe. But if you bought bread from bakery, so there is no what's called halakha kiruv dat. Nobody loves you, and you don't love nobody. You went to a store, they baked bread not for you. They baked bread for anyone to sell it to make money. Okay? There is no heart behind this bread. It's just a bread that they sell. Okay? And that scenario, many rabbis said that the whole prohibition does not exist because the whole idea is that they are honoring you, they showing you they love, they are baking for you special, for your family, for their family together. So in that case, there is a prohibition. But if you just went to buy bread from a bakery, it's okay. Now, some said this היתר, איך אומרים ההיתר הזה? Like this halacha is just applied when you do not have Pat Israel. Okay? Many said this is a leniency that you can follow when you do not have Pat Israel. Meaning, it's better to get Pat Israel to be 100% according to everyone. But if you do not have Pat Israel, you can buy normally if it's what's called Pat Palter, if it's a bakery and not, or a factory, doesn't matter what, but not a person's house. If it's a person's house, a Shulchan Aruch hold that it's 100% prohibited. If he cook it for himself, for his family, so this law is still exists. Okay? Now to the bottom line. Halachically, there is many to rely, like if a person wants to rely on those poskim, if there is no other bread, you definitely can eat it. If there is Pat Israel, some said you're not allowed. In case of the non-Pat Israel is much better, more tasty, or other kind of bread, many others said you can eat it. The Sephardim custom was to be lenient about that in any small reason. For example, let's say you have a Pat Israel bread and you want to eat pita. Okay? So this is enough. You can buy not Pat Israel. It's considered there is no Pat Israel. The only situation that it means there is Pat Israel is if there is here Pat Israel, here not Pat Israel, they're costing the same, and you should prefer the Pat Israel. But if they are not taste the same, you like more the non-Pat Israel, it's cost much more money, or if everyone will buy Pat Israel at the end, it will increase the price of it. In all those cases, many Sephardim rabbis were lenient. So in Chutz La'aretz, in the diaspora, in many places, they were lenient about that. Again, if you want, halachically, you're allowed to eat it. If you want to be more strict, it's amazing. In Eretz Israel, the Rabbanut Harashit Israel, they're not accepting not Pat Israel. For example, let's say BC kosher is recognized as a kashrut certification also in Israel. Okay? OU is recognized also in Israel. But if you want to bring to a restaurant in Israel something that is kosher certified by BCK or by OU or I don't know who, and they say it's not Pat Israel, the Rabbanut Harashit Israel said in Israel you're not allowed to sell it. Why? Because they say in Israel you have a lot of Pat Israel. So again, going to the reason that the Shulchan Aruch brought and many other poskim that this is leniency when you do not have. So okay, if you don't have, you can rely on that. At the end, Yahadut don't need to make your life so hard. We want to follow Hashem, but we also want to live our life. But if you were in Israel, why to go to buy specially not Pat Israel when you have all around Pat Israel? Okay, so the Rabbanut Harashit Israel, even kashruyot that are recognized in Israel and they know they're good, they said, okay, you can sell this not Pat Israel in Canada, in the United States, because people need to eat stuff, and if you will just eat Pat Israel, it will make the Pat Israel very, very expensive, and also it will be much more harder for your life. So if you want to rely on that and eat not Pat Israel, okay, but do it in the diaspora, not in Israel. Okay? Now you understand the logic behind. It's not like the halacha change, here it's kosher, here is not kosher. Is the whole reason is doing a separation. And some rabbis said that because we have a law that you can't say a prohibition of something when it's very hard for people, when it's not the oraita, and it was very hard for people in the diaspora. So in the diaspora, we are relying on that. It's clear? Good. Now I will go to a little bit the laws of Bishul Akum, and we'll go back to the pot to understand things. Do you heard once about Bishul Israel Edat Shulchan Aruch? In Israel, you can see it on many kashrut certification. I think also in North America, and some frums kashrut. It says Bishul Israel according to the Shulchan Aruch, like saying Glat and Chalak. Baruch, you saw that? You know what I'm talking about? You want to explain them?
So this is referring to in a like a certification, whether it is Bishul Akum, like cooked in accordance with the specifications of Shulchan Aruch, or if it's going by the stringencies of another thing. Yes.
Yeah. And you saw that. You said you saw that on
In
product,
Israel,
right?
yes.
Oh, in Israel. In Israel, it's really famous.
Yeah, not here.
I will.
No.
Oh, okay. So I will tell you. I will tell you what is mean. We learned. We understood that sometime we need to have the Yehudi cook the food. Okay, make it Bishul Israel. Now the question is, what is considered what you need to do to make this product Bishul Israel that you cooked? Okay, let's say like that. Meat, okay, a steak. It's can I replace a steak on a nice meal? Can I? No? Yes, no? Can you give me an example of a food that I can replace it on a nice meal? Do you have an example? Do you have? Think what? What's happened? I'm asking, do you have any idea of a meal, of something that is considered a nice meal? I don't, that you can give it to important people.
Sushi.
Sushi? Sushi is very good, but what's the problem with sushi is that sushi, what is sushi? What?
Raw.
Sushi is 100%. Sushi, you eat the fish raw.
You don't have to. Not today.
Yeah, but can I eat it raw?
Oh, I know what you mean. Okay.
If I can eat it raw, you don't
But
eat
the
Bishul
rice,
Israel.
you can't eat the rice.
Yeah, I didn't want to go to it because rice, it's not clear if the rice can be replaced on I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, if
Sushi,
it's
you
a
can't have
nice
just sashimi.
just sashimi, you 100% allowed to eat it if it's kosher and they clean the knife and the fish is kosher because it's just a fish. It's not cooked. It's not anything. And I'm looking for a dish. I think that meat, nice meat, it can be
Pasta.
My wife, pasta, good, pasta. So any cook like my wife made at Shabbat, lamb, soup lamb. Okay, so lamb is something that you can't eat raw. We normally don't eat it raw, and it's definitely can be served on a nice place. It was tasty. It was good. Okay, so this one you need to have Bishul Israel. Okay, but let's say you have workers that are helping you and they are Mexicans, I don't know what. So what do you need to do to make it considered your Bishul or make it considered Bishul Israel? You don't want to do all the job by yourself. Okay, you have a lot to cook. You are one person and you have 20 workers. Now the question is, what can I do to make it like I made a part of the cooking and it will consider Bishul Israel? Okay? Do you understand the question? So there is a huge discussion about it.
Like, you mean what is the essential part of the cooking?
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm looking for the essential one. I'm looking to understand.
At least,
I will give you an example. What?
At least, what is the minimum requirement for Jewish involvement?
Thank you. Thank you. This is the words I looked for. Appreciate it. I need your English. I need to learn English one day.
So, like, they can season the meat, but if we cook it, it's okay. Like, we're the one who
If they
places
what?
it on the pan. Like the goyim, they are seasoning the meat, but we place it on the pan, and we're the ones cooking it, so it's fine. Yes.
What is seasoning? I don't know the word. What does it mean seasoning?
Like
putting salt.
like spices, and yes.
100% good. So if they're seasoning the meat and you cook it, according to everyone, correct. This is an example of something that no problem according to everyone. Why? Because you cooked at the end. Let's say they season the meat. You replace the food on the gas. They mix it. Also okay. I will give you, first of all, the law that the oral law said. And after that, we understand where it's become more difficult, more not clear. They said, if you did something that without of the help of the goy, it will be cooked, but disgusting, it's enough. Let's say you put it on the fire, but without of the goy mixing it, some part will be burned up, some part will be not cooked so well. It will be edible, not tasty. It's enough. If he made the food much better, it's okay. If you did something that make the food cooked and he helped you and he make it tasty, he make it good, it's okay. This is something that everyone agree on. Okay? And you can understand from that the details. For example, if they put spices on it, they can put spices. Okay, I cooked it after that. It can be cooked, not tasty. They know how to make it spicy. They know how to put the spices good. They do it amazing. Perfect. But the situation that there is a disagreement between the Shulchan Aruch and the Rama is what will be the case if I open the fire and they did everything after that. Okay? I turn on the gas and they brought the food, spice it, mix it, put it in the pot. They put the pot on the fire. They did everything. The only thing I did is turn on the fire. What do you think? It's considered that I cooked it or they cooked it?
But you didn't do any cooking. You just gave them the fire. You just
But they couldn't
put the
cook it
stove
without the
on.
fire, so you're the essential part because the food wouldn't be cooked without the fire.
So the both two thing you just said, both correct. What Grace said is what the Shulchan Aruch hold. What Angela said is what the Rama hold. The Shulchan Aruch said, look, you just made the fire. You didn't make anything that have to do with the cook itself. You made the fire, there is zero cook. With fire, you can burn houses, you can make other things that have nothing to do with cook, you can make medal, I don't know what. Fire is have nothing to do with cooking. It's have to do with cooking, but it doesn't mean necessarily just cooking or something with the cook itself. It's just fire. So the Shulchan Aruch said, if you just turn on the fire, it have nothing to do, it's not enough. But the Rama said, without of me turning on the fire, you can't cook without a fire. So it means that I did an important part of it. Okay? So the Shulchan Aruch said, the Shulchan Aruch bottom line, the Shulchan Aruch rules is, if you just turn on the fire, it's not enough. You need to put the food, you need to do something in at the food itself. But the Rama said, if you turn on the fire because of without of you will be no cooking, it's considered that you did a central thing. And thank you very much, good. You saw, קוראים לזה כיוונתם, you got to the understanding of it. It's amazing. So now in Israel, you have even the product I'm doing all the time. Like next week, I'm going to do a product that they want Bishul Israel ledat Shulchan Aruch. Like they're having meat, glat and normal, it's the same. They want the kosher certification that. So let's start opposite. Some kashrut tell you, look, you should go in the morning, open the boiler of the factory, turn it on. Now that's it. They can cook everything they want. Because without of me opening the boiler, everything doesn't work. There is no cooking. So they said, it's enough. But the Shulchan Aruch hold that you need to do something with the cook itself. So according to Shulchan Aruch, you need to put the food. Okay. Now I will give you a situation. You will tell me what do you think according to the Shulchan Aruch. Let's say they're going to start. I didn't understand.
Good. They will go to the standardization pot now.
To the steamer.
Yeah.
Put it in.
Yeah. And wait for you. Do you want to see?
Okay, tell them to start. Just make me a picture
I sent it to you.
of the yeah. Just
Send it.
send me. Okay, yeah. And but when they finish them, I will see when it goes out.
1 hour later.
1 hour later, okay.
Okay. So they.
The picture and 1 hour later I will come.
Okay.
Thank you, appreciate it. Sorry, at the end I'm in the middle of production. So I thought maybe I will talk about that, but I forgot about that to explain you what I'm doing here. It's also kosher and it have to do with our things also. I will ask you, it's have to do with what we learned right now. Where I was, I forgot. Somebody can remind me? Oh, I want to ask you a question. I will have it next week. Let's say I want to cook rice. Rice, if it's tasty, it's something that can be served in a nice places. And rice, it's not something that we can eat raw normally. So rice requires Bishul Israel, okay? We said according to the Rama, very simple, you can turn on the fire and that's it, at the beginning of the day and they can cook. But let's say there is a pot on the place of the fire. How do you call it? On the gas, but the gas is closed. On the chatzuba, we say in Hebrew. Understand what I mean, right? It's on the place, but nobody turned on the fire. But there is a pot there. The pot has food that need to be cooked. And now you turn on the fire. What do you think will be the case now? You understood what I mean? The Shulchan Aruch said, if you just, according to the Shulchan Aruch said, if you just turn on the fire, it have nothing to do with the food. You turn on fire, a goy come, put a pot, cooked, do everything. It have nothing to do with you. We said again, Arama all differently. Arama are more lenient about that. But even according to Shulchan Aruch, many rabbis understood, and this is the halacha, that if they put already the pot, and after the pot is there, the food is there, now you turn on the fire. So definitely there is what to do with the cook itself, right? They make a distinction between you turn on a fire, nothing happened, okay? Somebody came, a non-Jew came, he cooked something. All right, no, thank you. To eat?
Yeah, to eat for lunch.
Maybe later I will.
Okay, so if you.
I will finish in 10 minutes. What? You can go, yeah.
I can go to buy some food for you.
Oh, okay. I will finish in a few minutes and I will be in touch with you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So what will be the case if I turn on the fire after somebody replaced already the pot there? You understand the question, right? Situation. So in that situation, even the Shulchan Aruch will agree that this is enough, because you turn on a fire on the food when the food is there. It's definitely have to do with the food, okay? For example, somebody put food in the oven, and when the food is in the oven, you turn on the oven, okay? There is a difference between when you turn on the oven in the morning, nothing happened. Somebody decide 2 hours later to come and to cook something there, you have even no idea what it was. And a situation when there is a food not cooked in the oven, and you came and you turn it on, okay? Hope you got me. Some hold that in that case, the Shulchan Aruch also will agree. Somebody has a question?
So is this more to do with your intention and the action together with the food? Then so like that's why you don't have the intention and the action together when you're just turning on an oven when there's no food, but if there's food there, I'm gonna cook this food, I'm turning on the fire, so you have intention plus action. So that's why it's okay.
I think you are correct. Yeah. Nice. Now I am doing, for example, now a production of mushroom cans. Okay. Do you think, according to what you learned, that I need, so I will tell you how mushroom works. The mushroom comes, we check it from insects. We make sure the product is insect free. The mushroom are washed, cooked in hot water, some process that have nothing to do with what we're learning now, mixing it with citric acid, I don't know, water and so on, and cooking it in autoclave, I think you say in English. Autoclave. It's like an oven or something for an hour. After it's in the cans. Do you think that I need to turn this oven on to make it Bishul Israel? There are non-Jews. No, correct. But why not? Can you explain us, Ruth?
Because you can eat it raw and not raw.
100%. Because mushroom is normally mushrooms, the champignon and the one we use for, there is some mushrooms that not, but mushrooms that we use normally for mushroom cans are edible raw, 100%. I start to eat it also edible because some people told me, no, it's not, and so on. I told them, look, you want a picture? I will show you how I eat it. It's 100% edible raw. It's even tasty. You can put it in your salad. It's amazing. So because of that, I don't need, okay? In this kind of production, we don't do. Next week, I will do, now I will give you another options of stuff. Let's say you are making, I will give you an example of something that is not clear, halachically. If you're doing pickles of how do you say, this is clear, but if you do pickles of, how do you say, cucumbers pickles, okay, I don't know how to say it exactly.
Yeah,
Do
dill
you need
pickles.
to turn?
Yeah. Dill pickles.
Yeah,
You're right.
thank you so much. Dill pickles. Do you need to do Bishul Israel for that? Should be Bishul Israel? No, correct. Why? Because you can eat cucumbers raw, right? Because cucumbers, it's edible raw. They can do all the process. If the ingredients are kosher, it's enough. Okay, we don't need to cook by ourselves, to send a Jew to open the fire according to the Ramah, or really to replace it according to Shulchan Aruch, because it's edible raw. Now let's go to stuff that they are not clear. Corn in a can. You know what I'm talking about? Corn. What do you think? It should have Bishul Israel or don't need to? I don't hear you if somebody try to talk. So I don't hear.
You don't normally eat, well, I wouldn't eat corn raw.
Yeah.
It depends on the
So-
type of corn.
This is true. So in corns, I checked, normally the corn they use for popcorn, for example, you can't eat it raw, this species. But corn that used to cans, you can,
Sweet corn.
but I don't, yeah, sweet corn, you can, I tried that. You can eat it raw, it will work. It's even okay. Some said it's eatable raw. Some said no, it's not edible raw. You try to force yourself to eat it raw to show me it's edible. You know what I mean? Like if halachically, if something is not edible raw, but you can eat it raw. For example, the Gemara asked the oral law, like to ask about an egg. If a goy cooked an egg, if it should be Bishul Israel or not. So this is something that we cannot argue. The Gemara said that this case considered you need Bishul Israel. From that we try to understand what is considered edible or not. So the rabbis understood that egg is edible raw, but is not the normal way of eating an egg. Okay, you can swallow the egg, it will be good for your, I don't know, for your voice and stuff, but it's not the normal way of eating egg.
וההגדרה לזה שזה אפשר לאכול את זה חי, זה נגיד, תחשוב שעושים מביצה חיה ככה, עושים מזה קצפת. זה עדיין נשאר חי לגמרי, אבל זה פשוט רק במבנה אחר.
זה עוד דברים לא ברורים.
או
אנסה
על
לא
שקשוקה,
להיכנס
למרות שעל שקשוקה זה כן קצת.
לא, על שקשוקה זה לא נקרא, כי זה נקרא מבושל קצת. Normally in egg, I don't know, at that time they also didn't use קצפות, so I don't know if it's help us to understand the Gemara. At the time of the Gemara, the time of the oral law, some people does eat swallow, I don't know how to say it, egg, like raw, but it's not was the normal situation. So the rabbis learned from that even if you can eat it raw, but it's not the way normally at all, like you can force yourself to eat it, but it's not the way of eating it, is not good. You need to have Bishul Israel. So corn is not clear. Some Kashrut certification require Bishul Israel, some not. And another problem with corn is, does corn considered can be replacement on a king table? Here I will explain you another deep thing there. Some understood that when we are talking about replacing something on a king table, we're talking about the ingredients itself. What I mean? Rice definitely can be, you can give to a king to eat, okay? You should bring a good chef. He will make it tasty and good and nice, but a king will eat rice, okay? So some said if this ingredient can be replaced on a king house, even if you are not professional and you cook it not so tasty, it still should have the law of it's considered can be replacement on a king place, okay? This is one option. The other option, the opposite, some rabbi understood, no, we're talking about the way the guy cooked it. If as it is, it's going to be replaced on the king table. You need to have a Bishul Israel. If it's not. So this is have to do with corn. Corn in a can like that. I think maybe I'm not correct. I think a king, you are not replace it as a meal to a king. It should be with other things cooked nicely, not like that as a can. Okay. But corn as ingredients, king will eat corn. You can cook it tasty. You can take these ingredients normally and cook it nicely. So some old, it's need Bishul Israel, some not. What we are doing is some Kashruyot tell you don't need anything. You don't need any Bishul Israel because it's not replacement to a king, or it can be edible raw. And I'm finishing like I think that and that's it. And some said you need to have Bishul Israel, and many are in the middle. Okay, for example, we said the Shulchan Aruch hold you need to cook, but like really to cook. And according to the Rama, it's enough if you turn on the fire. Okay, so something you look, because it's not clear that corn should have Bishul Israel, even though that normally we require a real Bishul Israel. Here, it's enough for us if we just turn on the fire in the morning, meaning turn on the boiler, how it's worked today. There is a boiler of a system that goes to all the factory. You just turn it on in the morning and they can work normal. This is what a lot doing. Yeah, that's what I mean. Somebody has a question or something?
I have a quick question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
In the shuls, there's usually the secretary is not Jewish, and they're not allowed to switch the stove on for any reason. Is that just so that it's less confusing for them in the way of eating raw, eating not raw, you know?
100% true, yeah. Going to that as a rabbi, when people are not educated and you don't want to go to all those 1,000 details, you just say no. What will be the case if they did, let's say she did by a mistake, some guy didn't know, and they turn it on. Now you will look at the situation. You will say, look, this is not that this is can't be replaced as a king, and there is many other details here. I just try to make it simple, and you will say the bottom line if it's okay or not after the fact. But before the fact, if you know the details, no problem. Normally at synagogues, many people do not know those kind of things. We don't want to make life harder and go to trouble. We just say a Jew will do it, and we are good. Somebody has a question? Want to understand something? To clarify something? Good. Okay. So when next week, what? Yeah.
I have one question.
Yeah, you can have
so
two.
say we put something in the oven to cook it. What about taking it out? Can a goyim take it out or?
100%.
Okay.
After you did something, I said after you did something that it will be cooked, they can continue. And again, all those laws have nothing to do with ingredients problems or other suspicions. Let's say your goy is in different country and they are cooking there and you don't know what they're putting and you have a suspicion that maybe they put non-kosher ingredients. So even if it's something that can be edible raw, if there is a suspicion of non-kosher things inside, so it's a different problem, it's a side problem. Or but if it's in your house or your place and you know that they are, they have no reason to put other things, they're just helping. So that will be, yes, they can take it out, they can help, they can do many things. And most of the places in North America, they are relying on the Jew just open the fire, because saying that the Jew should cook make it much more expensive, and it's really hard because we do not have enough Jews for that. And you can have like one Jew do for few kitchens of basically 100 workers at the end, you know what I mean? And if you will need, it's become harder, for example, in frying braised, how do you say, schnitzel, making schnitzel. Because schnitzel, according to Shulchan Aruch, you should put each one by yourself on the oil. And it's meaning you need to have a Jewish cooker. So in Israel, it's much easier for them to be strict about that. In North America, it's very hard. In places that they do Bishul Israel, according to the Shulchan Aruch, I was in New York. I saw that in Monsey. In some places they do have it. Some kashrut that they are strict, like room. They write for you Bishul Israel according to the Shulchan Aruch also, and they basically have a few workers that are Jewish. It's not a mashgiach. You don't need to be a mashgiach. You just need to be. You just need to find a Jew to work there, and he knows that when it comes to those kind of things, he is the one that. The management organize it in the way that the Jews they want to put, and something like that. There is many interesting things about, like, for example, I will say that and we'll finish and that's it. Just jump to me. You know how shawarma works? Shawarma, you ate shawarma once? You all ate shawarma? Well, good. Ruth, you didn't eat shawarma? Wow, poor you. I heard there is a place in Yerushalayim nearby your parents' house, and I heard about two people. One is named Eliahu, and the other name is Ruth. I think they went to a date to a place of shawarma, I think, and it was really good. So shawarma, I like shawarma. Now I want you to think. Shawarma works in a way you put a lot of turkey meat, layer by layers with many spices in the middle, not cooked. You put it on something, it's turn and turn, fire from the sides, and every time when you cut, you take one layer, you cut to give the person the shawarma. The second layer is cooked. If in one shot you will cut 10 layers, what is inside is not cooked at all. It's 100% raw. You know what I mean? You got me? If you take a thick shawarma and you take it out after the outside is cooked, okay? And you take it out, you cut it in the middle it will be raw, okay? It's a fact. This is how it's worked. And they are cutting, and all the time few layers are cut. You will see that if they are in rush and they have many people coming to buy the shawarma, so they will cut and it will be raw. So they will put it on a plancha. Plancha is a word in English too. You know what I mean? No?
Flat top grill.
Thank you so much. Flat top grill. So they will put it on flat top grill to cook it. How you know this word, Baruch? Wow. And now the question is.
You also like shawarma.
Oh yeah, it's very good. One of the things I missed Israel is for shawarma. In Israel, it's also very expensive. $20, you get like a huge meal that basically 2 people can eat it. If a Jew put at the morning the shawarma inside, but the non-Jew, the Arab person, he is the one that taking the shawarma. He's cutting shawarma all the time. He's serving shawarma. Who considered cook the shawarma according to the Shulchan Aruch? This is something that is topic in Israel about between kashruyot. Some said, if the person that cut the shawarma not will cook, it will never be ready. The outside will be born, inside will be never ready. It doesn't work like that. That's what it is, because it's really thick. Till it will born. This is how they understood it. They said that without the goy cut, it will not be ready. So some said you need to have a Jew cut it. But is a disagreement between kashruyot. You will see some kashruyot that require the one that cut the shawarma, you will see is Jewish all the time, and some others not, and there is more details about that. And we will continue Be'ezrat Hashem next week. We'll enjoy with you. Yeah, and you can ask things or discuss and ask few questions and clarify things in the group, and I will answer with a lot of pleasure. It's even much easier for me because I can answer and talk whenever, and I think it will be good trying to clarify what we learned. And because when we just heard thing one time, I think our brain, all of us, it's almost impossible to get a lot of information in one shot and not trying to digest it and talks about it a little bit. So the group is for that, and I am there for you. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.